Sultan Haitham bin Tariq received a written message from His Highness the Emir of the State of Qatar, including an invitation for His Majesty to attend the 6th Summit of the Heads of Gas Exporting Countries. The COVID-19 Supreme Committee decides to close the Sultan's borders starting from Tuesday for 1 week. The Minister of Health announces that the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine is to arrive in the country on Wednesday. And an agreement is signed to develop, manage and operate the multi-purpose fishing port of Bulletin. Those are the headlines. Now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq has received a written message from His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, that included an invitation for His Majesty to attend the 6th Summit of the Heads of Gas Exporting Countries. The letter was delivered to His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, by His Excellency Ambassador Sheikh Jassim bin Abdurrahman Al Thani, Qatar's ambassador to the Sultan, during a reception today. During the meeting, cordial talks were exchanged and the bilateral relations between the two brotherly countries were reviewed, and ways to support and develop them in various fields were discussed. The Sultan's borders will be closed again starting from Tuesday, 22nd December 2020. The Supreme Committee decides to prevent entry to and exit from the Sultan through various land, air and seaports starting 1 a.m. tomorrow, Tuesday, December 22nd, 2020, for a period of 1 week. According to the committee, the airplanes and ships of the cargo and trucks will be excluded from this prohibition. The committee will continue to monitor the epidemiological situation of the new strain of coronavirus and take appropriate decisions accordingly. The Supreme Committee added in its statement, the decision came after examining what has been announced by the authorities in a number of countries about the emergence of a new strain of the coronavirus and to protecting members of society from the severity of its infection and the speed of its spread. The Minister of Health today confirmed that the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine will arrive in the country on Wednesday. The vaccine that will reach the Sultan is manufactured by Pfizer using mRNA messenger ribonucleic acid technology. The vaccine will be delivered in 2 doses, separated by 21 days, and vaccination centers will be announced during the next few days. Badr bin Saif al-Rawahi, Director of the Department of Infectious Diseases Control, said that the national plan has been prepared to distribute the vaccine and train health workers in all governorates of the Sultan. Al-Rawahi stated that the Sultan, represented by the Minister of Health, has sought to create consultative channels with a number of scientific institutions and international organizations, as well as through direct negotiations with a number of companies. Luckily, Oman was among the first countries to obtain the vaccine in 2020 itself. He emphasized that the ministry has prepared for the strategy for vaccination to cover 60% of the population, which is divided into stages. And the first stage begins with the targeted percentage of 20 due to the limited supply in the current period. Al-Rawahi stated that the target groups in the first stage are the groups most vulnerable for disease, including frontline workers and those with chronic diseases, the elderly, diabetics, people with chronic lung disease, kidney failures, and workers in intensive care developments for COVID-19 patients. The Minister of Health reported that the total number of coronavirus COVID-19 registered cases in the Sultan reached 127,000 and 931 cases, with 489 deaths. The total recovery cases reached 119,745, which is 93.7% of the total cases reported so far. The minister indicated that the total number of the inpatients in hospitals reached 95, including 40 in intensive care units. His Excellency Said Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, met with His Highness Prince Faisal bin Farhan, Foreign Minister of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The meeting, held at the premises of the Foreign Ministry of Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, affirmed on the deep-rooted relations binding the two countries and their concern to continue cooperation and coordination in various spheres. The two ministers expressed their support for joint work march within Gulf Cooperation Council countries and exchanged viewpoints on a number of issues and developments in the regional and international arena. His Excellency Said Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Foreign Minister, also met with His Excellency Dr. Naif Falah Al Hajraf, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. The meeting dwelt on the march of GCC countries and the consultation on in a number of joint work areas in the Gulf level. The Special Economic Zone of Duqm signed with the consortium headed by the Omani Company for Fisheries Development an agreement to develop, manage and operate the multi-purpose fishing port of Duqm and the associated investment projects. More in the following report.
Seeking to exploit the privileged location on the Arabian Sea and to benefit from the infrastructure, the Special Economic Zone of Duqm signed with a consortium headed by the Omani Company for Fisheries Development an agreement to develop, manage and operate the multi-purpose fishing port of Duqm and the associated investment projects, which is expected to be ready in the first quarter of next year, where the economic zone has so far managed to attract a group of investments in the fishery industries and the development of superstructures amounting to 135 million Omani riyals.
Today we have signed the usufruct agreement for the new fishing port in Duqm. It's the largest fishing port in the Sultanate. And this agreement, we have created a consortium of companies that are dealing with food and fisheries products and are involved in this industry. Therefore, we needed a technical partner, and that technical partner we brought from France, from Port of Laurent. Now, what's going to happen is we are going to restructure the master plan for the best use of this port.
On the other hand, the Special Economic Zone of Duqm and the Al Wusta Company for Fisheries Industries signed a usufruct agreement on the right to use the land in the fishing port of Duqm, as the company seeks to contribute to raising fish production of the target species and establishing fish industries at a high level of technologies.
We have launched another project for the processing of the small pelagics. This processing plant will be able, at first phase, to process about 500 tons with 20% redundancy to deal with the artisanal fishing fleet, taking fish from the artisanal fishing fleet as a primary process of freezing, grading, and then dispatching to the market.
The fishing port is the largest port of its kind in the Sultanate and one of the main projects in the Special Economic Zone of Duqm. The fishing industries complex associated with the port will enhance the utilization of the services of Duqm Airport, which was provided with an air cargo building, in addition to supporting the re-export sector and the creation of job opportunities and contributions in revitalizing the fisheries sector in the Sultanate, in order to diversify the economy and enhance food security, in addition to transferring modern technology globally to the Sultanate and creating creating an added value for fish wealth.
Still to come, a news bulletin. The salty skies will witness a rare astronomical phenomenon tonight. The German foreign minister said today that Iran should not waste a window of opportunity after U.S. President-elect Joe Biden said that he would rejoin the Iran nuclear program JCPOA agreed in 2015. Today's meeting of parties to the agreement was the first at the level of foreign ministers in over a year. Heiko Maas said it was a downward spiral caused by a mixture of strong U.S. pressure on Iran and Tehran's violations of the accord. The remaining countries that signed the agreement with Iran, Germany, France, Britain, China, and Russia, have been trying to keep it from collapsing after the unilateral withdrawal of the United States in 2018. The three European powers have expressed hope that with the change of administrations in Washington, the U.S. could be brought back into the deal. There were no Eurostar arrivals at Gare du Nord in Paris today, the day after France banned all travel from the UK for 48 hours in an attempt to make sure that a new strain of the coronavirus in Britain doesn't reach its shores. But Eurostar trains were still going in the opposite direction, departing from Gare du Nord to St. Pancras in London. The ban came into the effect from midnight Sunday as the French government reacted to tougher measures imposed in and around London on Saturday. Belgium, the Netherlands and Italy are among several other countries to have banned travel from the UK. The Ministry of Education organized the Forum of School Leadership, Visions and Aspirations. It came within the framework to understand the goals of policies and policies of education, as well as the 5-year plans for the ministry, in addition to focusing on some important aspects regarding teaching in schools. The forum also shed light on ways to develop the work of education system, as well as the administrative aspects of schools, besides the duties and rights of the employees in this field. It also had discussion sessions on digital schools and their performances, in addition to systems related to blended education. The Arab Open University celebrated the laying of the foundation stone of the university premises in the Wilaya of Sib in Al-Ma'bela area. The Ministry of Higher Education, Scientific Research and Innovation stressed that the number of private education institutions reached 23. The ceremony was presided over by High Excellency Dr. Rahma bint Ibrahim Al-Mahrouqiya, Minister of Higher Education, Scientific Research and Innovation. His Excellency Said Saeed bin Sultan Al Busaidi, Undersecretary of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth for Culture, stressed that the cultural strategy is prepared and is waiting for approval for the bodies concerned. He added that the disabled category is one of the significant and productive segments of the community, and it should receive all the support to make them blend into the society. With the participation of 20 fine artists from various governorates of the Sultanate, the Cultural Club organized a fine art exhibition. The exhibition included a number of sculptures, models in which the artists expressed their thank and gratitude for health carers, considering them the first defense line against coronavirus. The exhibition was opened by His Excellency Ali bin Khalfan al-Jabri and the Secretary of the Ministry of Information for Information Affairs. The Salta skies will witness a rare astronomical phenomenon tonight, December 21st. This rare astronomical event will see Jupiter and Saturn line up very close to each other. According to officials at the MERA Astronomy Affairs Department, said this astronomical phenomenon can be viewed anywhere in the Salta through naked eyes. For those interested in astronomy and for clear vision, it's recommended to enjoy the view away from the cities where the lights are less and the sky is clear. And finally, Taronga Zoo in Sydney celebrated Christmas a little early this year by giving enrichment treats to some of the zoo's animals, including the African lions and Australian sea lions. Lion brothers, Luazi and Atto, received some aromatic pine Christmas trees. The giraffes and herd of capybaras munched their way through an array of wreaths made from olive, Bob's apples and elephant's grass. Young Australian sea lion, Pup, Amalie and Mom Nyla were treated to some crushed ice with a Christmas message attached. Squirrel monkeys enjoyed some hanging Christmas decorations made from sweet potatoes and capsicum. The greater bilbies used their excellent sense of smell to investigate some native flowers. Enrichment gives the animals an opportunity to display natural behaviors they would use in the wild. This is Sultan of Oman Television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq receives a written message from His Highness the Emir of the State of Qatar, including an invitation for His Majesty to attend the 6th Summit of the Heads of Gas Exporting Countries. The COVID-19 Supreme Committee decides to close the Sultan's borders starting from Tuesday for 1 week. The Ministry of Health announces that the first batch of COVID-19 vaccine is to arrive in the country on Wednesday. And an agreement is signed to develop, manage and operate the multi-purpose fishing port of Bulletin. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, good night.
لا تهمل أغراضك وتضيع منك، خصوصاً المفاتيح، لأن أسرار البيوت تنعرف من مفاتيحها.
أنت اللي خطبتي وأنا وأبوك وافقنا.
عمتي هذه الظاهر ناوية على شر. أنا ماني عارف إيش قاعد تسوي معي كذي، شو مسوي أنا؟ أنت شلون تمدين إيدك علي؟
كسر راسك بعد، لأني أمك وتم طول عمرك يا أهل بنظري.
أنت ولده وهذاك نسيبه، أكو أبو ما يحب ولده.
شو تفسرين تصرفاته معه؟
أخوي عثمان أخذ ريمون حاشر.
الريال السنة يسنى مرته ويخليها تحب أهلها غصبا عليها.
تغيرت أجيال وكبرت أجيال وانت نفس التفكير. عمرك ما راح تتغيرين يا شيخة، طول عمرك بتتمين كذي.
عصمت هو روحي، وأنا ما راح أنسى وقفته وعذابه مشاني.
أنا طلبت من أمك وأبوكي إنك تروحي تسكني عندي بالبيت، وتعهدت إنك ما تلتقي بعصمت ببيتي.
نحن أكبر من فريال ومن أخوها صاحب المشغل.
إذا هالمرة ما تربى، المرة الثانية بده يتربى ورجله فوق راسه.
شو المشاكل عم بتصير على كيفنا؟
ومين في أحسن من عصمت بالحارة ليجي ويخدمها؟
منين بتعرفينا؟
إذا بتطلعي عن شوري طلع برات البيت ما بقعد وخليك.
الحاكمية لمت كل شباب الحارة وأخذوا ابني عصمت معهم.